Yeah, Knuckles, I like Knuckles like Sonic, I don't Knuckles. I'd rather flex my muscle.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's Knuckles in this right show? I'm gonna burn down the house.
Don't even try it.
I'm gonna...
Here, watch something else.
Come on, you want to try it out?
Not right now, thanks.
Yeah, you're too slow. Red isn't in a mirror.
Knuckles, brought to you by Paramount Plus, may be the single worst piece of video media that's ever been viewed by my eyeballs. There's no twist in this video, that's my actual sincere opinion. Thanks for coming. Fight with me in the comments if you want, I've got the time. Look, I'm not saying that Knuckles on Paramount Plus is the worst piece of Sonic media ever, but it may well be the worst TV show I personally have ever seen. HauntLich, that seems a little dramatic. It's not. I mean this with no exaggeration. I was going to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in theaters on opening night, and I was really, really excited about it. I'm not planning on going to see it at all now. It would take a lot of convincing to get my ass in a theater seat after seeing Knuckles. I didn't talk about Velma, I didn't talk about Castlevania, I didn't talk about any of the modern schlock that dares exist, so what, you may be wondering, made Knuckles so uniquely awful that I couldn't keep my mouth shut about it? Before we begin, for real, this video will be full of spoilers in case you cared. But really, fundamentally, it's because I didn't expect Knuckles to be this bad. Honest to God, I went into Knuckles completely blind, I didn't watch a trailer, I barely looked at the poster. I didn't think it was gonna be amazing or anything, but I genuinely couldn't believe what I was watching. So let me break down for you exactly what I didn't like about Knuckles. Number one, excuse me. Number one, the premise. Bowling!
Nice cock.
The show, I shit you not, I am not shitting you, no shit is being shat right now. The show is about bowling. I'm saying it out loud, and I'm still just fucking befuddled. The premise of the show is that Knuckles is a goofball, and he gets in trouble at movie protagonist lady in Sonic's house.
We need to talk about our little red barbarian friend. I could use some backup.
Which makes him run away to train a new warrior to defend the Master Emerald. And he picks the worst actor I've ever seen, and also the Master Emerald is never seen in the series. This guy right here, let's talk about this guy. This is actor Adam Pally. I mean with complete sincerity the following statement. I hope Adam Pally never gets work again. If you, at any point in this series, thought anything Adam Pally did was actually laugh-worthy, you're either a paid shill or the soft spot on your head hasn't hardened yet. I hate this man. I hate him so much, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the show is about him. It's called Knuckles, it's not about Knuckles. It's about Wade Whipple, the character Adam Pally plays. This character gets more screen time and character development than Knuckles. IGN's review of Knuckles states, and I quote, Paramount Plus's Knuckles miniseries is an absolute riot. It's bold, creative, and takes some big swings. There's some heartwarming payoff, too, as Knuckles and his hapless human sidekick grow ever closer with each passing episode. Whoever wrote that, I hope the paycheck was worth it. Shame on you. Grievance number 2, the show isn't about Knuckles. As mentioned before, this show is about Wade Whipple, an unfunny fat man whose entire character arc is learning to love his family, which he doesn't, learning to be strong, which he doesn't, and learning to appreciate his power within, which he doesn't. The writing is poor enough as is, but it doesn't help that Adam Pally is he's just awful. It's like the man watched Paul Blart and was like, damn, I bet I could do that.
That's not supposed to be here. It's Miniman.
I haven't seen anything else Adam Pally is in. And I don't remember him from the Sonic movies, even though I know he was there. So I can really only judge him based on this. And based on this, Adam Pally needs to never appear on my screen ever again. To properly describe to you how the show isn't about Knuckles, I'm going to give you a quick episode breakdown. In episode 1, Knuckles is revealed to think his new duty is to, on top of protecting the Master Emerald, which we don't see him with a single time in the series, protect this lady's house. She gets mad at him for being a big dumb idiot and tells him to chill.
Your kid did this.
He's a really big kid with a huge imagination. Thinks he's a warrior. Always training, questing, as well as stalking, hunting, and occasionally terrorizing.
It's a stupid way of talking, and nobody talks like that. I don't...
Sonic also tells him to chill by telling him to make himself comfortable and at home, which Knuckles does by destroying her house to make it more like his home. Look, I know this is gonna be nitpicking, and I realize that, but in this universe, Knuckles is like a tribal warrior, right? His home looks like this. So where'd my man get his sneakers and gloves? I wouldn't have questioned this if the show was good otherwise. I mean, I accepted it in the Sonic the Hedgehog, the video game. The lady tells Knuckles that he's grounded, which feels really weird because Knuckles here kind of feels like he's a grown man. I get that Sonic and Tails are supposed to be kids in the movieverse, but Knuckles doesn't strike me as a child. Knuckles completely disregards the lady who he claims he's honor-bound to protect and leaves the house, which he says he's honor-bound to protect, and he assumedly also leaves the Master Emerald, which he claims he's honor-bound to protect, to pursue a quest of turning Wade Whipple into a true warrior, because the ghost of Knuckles' ancestral chieftain told him to. I can hear Ken Pender's blood pressure going up just looking at this character. Wade Whipple is revealed to be a bowler, and his objective is to win a bowling tournament in Reno. Wade gets into a pissing match with this little girl, and then this guy kicks him off the bowling team because he's not an immaculate bowler. The weird thing about this is that he's not a bad bowler, he's shown to be a competent bowler. So if the show was actually about trying to make him a better bowler or something, he'd have very little growth to experience to begin with. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This is not a show about making Wade Whipple a better bowler. It's a show about... the show is, I mean, it's called Knuckles. The villains are revealed. They're these two morons, whose names I don't remember. Generic black bad guy and generic British lady bad guy. There's not a single thing that makes these characters stand out. These characters were the beginning of me starting to wonder if AI generation had a hand in this. This is also where I started to feel the show's badness begin to encroach upon me.
Do I look like I need your power?
What are you talking about? Of course we need his power. It's the whole reason we're here, to get his power and sell it for lots and lots of money.
I know that.
The bowling thing was, I could accept a dumb premise, I'm not an asshole. But the realization that the only Sonic-related thing we were gonna get in this series was Knuckles himself? That kinda stung. The gun agents turn out to be traitors, and they promise this random bad guy that they'll deliver Knuckles to him. Who is this? Who are they? I mean, the show is called Knuckles. The show does establish here that human beings in the Sonic movieverse are quite literally invincible. We're shown Knuckles throwing a heavy-ass dumbbell, bending the bar, shattering a bowling ball in pins. But he hucks a bowling ball at this lady's hand, and she's fine. He hucks another bowling ball at her chest, and she's fine. Black bad guy gets punched in the face by Knuckles! Knuckles the Echidna, who shatters bowling balls and breaks walls with punches, hits this guy in the face! This normal guy in his fucking face! And he's not even, like, injured afterwards. Look, I get it. I get that they couldn't show Knuckles just fucking killing people. But then why have the antagonists of the show be regular people? Who made this decision, a moron? Knuckles gets captured, and I shit you not, spends basically the entire second episode in this box. A good chunk of this episode is dedicated to Wade Whipple having a fantasy about rescuing Knuckles. Knuckles spends the entire episode in this fucking box and does basically nothing. He talks about grinding their bones to dust, but they've already established to the audience that Knuckles can punch this regular guy in the face and do no damage.
Your arms have just snapped off with the most satisfying crunch.
What's the good thing you're trapped inside that case then, buddy?
Am I glad he's frozen in there and that we're out here?
To put that in perspective, if you went outside and punched someone in the face, you would do damage to them. Congratulations, dear viewer. You are canonically stronger than Knuckles the Echidna. Episode 3. Episode 3. I'm gonna tread lightly here. This is the Jewish dinner episode. Yeah. The most controversial thing I'll probably end up saying about the Jewish dinner episode is that it feels purposefully added to the show in order to deflect criticism of the show. Like, now you can't say bad things about the show or else you're anti-Semitic. And I'm not crazy, I've literally seen that play out on Twitter, so that's fun. Wade takes Knuckles to his mother's house, where they meet her and Wade's sister, an FBI agent that chews the scenery so hard she's basically eating this house and everyone in it.
I'm working for the FBI.
What is that? Why do you say it like that?
That's how everybody in the FBI says it.
Then they should reprint the jackets.
That would be so dumb.
I hate this woman. I hate this man. Wade and his sister fight at the dinner table, culminating in his sister literally stabbing him with a fork, to which the other characters are like, womp womp, what wacky dinner table shenanigans. Have you ever wanted to experience the magic of an awkward family dinner and also there's a Sonic character there watching it? Well, now you can.
Of course. Just go. Leave me here.
I'm way back.
Knuckles goes into Wade's room, which brings up another thought I have about this series. It's crammed with references and licensed music and product placement. One of the worst things you can do as a bad production is constantly remind the audience that there are better things they could be watching. It's revealed that Wade's dad, who's a deadbeat and walked out on them, is a British bowling idol. What?
And who is this magnificent and powerful man?
Bounty hunters looking for Wade come in and try to wreck up the place. The FBI agent cowers in a corner as this guy threatens to hit her with a plastic Spirit Halloween chain. Why the FBI agent doesn't just shoot this guy with her gun is, anybody's guess. There are no guns in this show, by the way. There's a laser gun, but we all know those don't count. There really aren't, like, stakes in this show at all, which begs the question, why make Wade's sister an FBI agent if she's gonna be completely powerless and helpless? They could have made it to where Wade's sister is his connection to Rouge the Bat. Maybe Rouge the Bat works for the FBI in this one, but they didn't do that, so it's not even worth talking about. The Knuckles series feels like it's a weird abomination that's made both for older audiences, but also for literal babies. And by virtue of trying to be for both, it ends up being for neither. Episode 4. I love Episode 4. I had to leave the room. I had to physically remove myself from my screen when Episode 4 happened. Knuckles isn't really in this episode. He appears but doesn't do anything. He's here right here for a moment, and then he's here at the end for a moment. In this episode, Wade gets captured by the bounty hunter, who happens to be his old bowling rival, or old bowling teammate, or whatever, I don't know. And he gets knocked unconscious and goes to the spirit realm and meets 𝓲𝓾𝓫𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓪𝓵, who, in order for Wade to learn to embrace his warrior spirit, instructs him to experience Knuckles' backstory. And how, do you ask? Do they show you Knuckles' backstory? In a way that coincides with the fact that putting Knuckles on the screen was probably more expensive than Paramount was willing to go. They do it with a musical puppet show with interpretive dance, with Wade Whipple wearing a Knuckles onesie pajama.
The owls, they clawed and they kicked. They hooted and flew into space. They set fire to the town and burned it to the ground.
I cannot express to you how baffled this made me. No language has a word for the way it made me feel. So I'll have to make one up. It made me feel frunkled. It's revealed here that Knuckles witnessed his father being killed by the Owl People. It's also implied that, like, his entire race was exterminated by the Owl People, which, for one, is actually not in continuity with the movie. In the movie, Knuckles is left behind and doesn't actually see his father die. 2, that means that no chaos then. In Sonic Adventure, the Echidna tribe was scoured from existence because they kicked this little blue guy and pissed off the god of destruction. Not here though, so chaos is out. No chaos means pretty much anything from Sonic Adventure 1 is probably out, which bodes great for the future of the Sonic movieverse. The Sonic movieverse, which, by the way, Sega wants to become like Avengers and have a gigantic catalog of movies and TV shows. Knuckles is revealed to have gone on a spirit quest to acquire the power known as the Flames of Disaster. And when they said those words out loud, I about lost my fucking mind.
I will fan the flames of disaster. Many obstacles lay in his path.
It's Iblis from Sonic 06. I thought I was crazy. I had to double check. When I saw this face appear on the spinning board, it gave me so much whiplash that I'm still trying to figure out who I'm supposed to sue. So I'm having a mental breakdown because of this scene, and in the middle of my mental breakdown, this happens.
I'm gonna burn you alive till you're crisp, then boil your bones and eat you like a fish. Then I might hit Facebook Marketplace up. Might be some deals on some freaking cool stuff. Facebook Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace.
I had to leave the room and come back to make sure I wasn't having a fucking stroke. There's no joke. There's no punchline. There's no setup. This is quite literally an ad for Facebook Marketplace in the middle of this song. If the writers thought this was funny, they were wrong. If you thought this was funny, you are wrong.
Facebook Marketplace.
In the next episode, they go to Reno, and I'm gonna be completely brutally honest, at this point, I caught myself skipping around. There are scenes that go on for so long, and they're brutally unfunny and do nothing to move the plot forward. They could be omitted entirely, and the show might actually be higher quality. Episode 5, they're in Reno, and you have not fucking earned this hat, show. You take that hat off that CGI monster right this instant and get it away from Adam Pally.
I never thought you'd stoop that low.
They meet Wade's dad, who feels like a ChatGPT version of Austin Powers. You know what? Fuck that. Blaming AI generation for this is such massive cope. The people who made this, they're awful at what they do. I skipped the family shit with Wade. Why? Because I sat down to watch the Knuckles show. About Knuckles, the little red guy with the big fists. I wanted to watch a show about Knuckles the Echidna. You know, at least in Godzilla movies, despite having so much human screen time, they're still about Godzilla in some capacity. Knuckles is literally a cameo in his own show. A large majority of episode 5 and 6, the last 2 episodes of The Knuckles Show, are dedicated to Wade's family drama and a completely unironic bowling tournament arc. I guess what did I expect? The show told me there was gonna be a bowling tournament, and here we are. You know, I'm realizing what the biggest problem with The Knuckles Show is. It's not that Knuckles is hardly in it. It's not that it's cringe. It's not the lame premise. It's that the show is boring. The show is really boring. It's so boring. I'm bored. I didn't even realize how boring it was until I had to watch it a second time to get the footage for this video. Fucking nothing happens in this show. During the final fight scene with this random bozo who looks like the fucking Rhino from Amazing Spider-Man 2, incapacitated in the background while Wade Wipples fights the bad guy.
And we're stronger than ever now. Because we fight together!
The best of them, tougher than leather.
Did I mention I'm not gonna go see the third Sonic movie now? The show ends with them doing a slow-mo high five and Knuckles claiming that this boomer-ass rock song is, quote, his jam. You know, earlier in the show, Knuckles is presented with rap music and he kicks the radio to turn it off. I'm stunned I've seen nobody complain about this yet. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. Grievance number 4 with the Knuckles Show, fucking everything. It's not funny, it's not exciting, it's not well written, and you can't use the excuse that it's for little kids because I don't know what little kid would be pleased watching this. I put myself in the mindset of a little kid who's obsessed with Knuckles. He's super excited to watch the show. He's sitting on the couch with popcorn, he's got his Knuckles plushie, he's bouncing up and down, all hyper. By the end of episode 3, this kid's asking where Knuckles is, when's Knuckles gonna do something, why Knuckles isn't on the screen. You can watch it yourself to confirm, but Knuckles is barely in the show. And it's actually one of the most common complaints I see about the show. And it means that no matter how good the show actually was, like it could be amazing. It could be a spectacular deep dive into the psychology of ex-cop Wade Whipple, right? Worthy of Emmys and Oscars and whatever other masturbatory trophies they give actors these days. But it would still be fucked up that it was like the Knuckles show. I don't understand. The Sonic movies were good. They weren't great. I think 2 was a little bit better than 1, and I mean, yeah, they're definitely family movies, but they were good. I liked them. How did this happen? What is with this wider trend of every single thing American media touches going to shit? I'm actually fucking exhausted with it at this point. You know, I have a general philosophy on media, and it goes old good, new bad. It's not a hard and fast rule. Obviously, there are old things that are bad and new things that are good, but it's a general rule and one that served me extremely well. I'm not frequently exposed to modern, bottom-of-the-barrel, lowest common denominator garbage. I haven't seen a Star Wars movie since the first sequel film, I haven't seen a Marvel movie since Endgame, and I haven't played a AAA video game since Doom Eternal. I am very disconnected from what I would consider to be modern slop. But I genuinely didn't expect Knuckles to be modern slop. This show was so bad it actually hurt my feelings. You made me feel like a fucking moron for thinking that something new could actually be good, and that's a tough fucking feeling to bounce back from. So, fuck it, I'm not gonna go see the third Sonic movie. I know, everyone's gonna be talking about it, and I don't care. I don't care because honestly, this feeling that I feel right now, talking about the Knuckles movie, I hate this feeling. I hate the feeling of walking away from something that I genuinely didn't enjoy. And you know what makes that feeling even worse? $6 drinks, $12 tickets, $8 popcorn, snot-nosed brats screaming in the theater, and the inevitable applause when Shadow first appears on the screen.